Um, MySQL, the join processor for MySQL relies so heavily on loops, and it also optimizes heavily based on indexes. What are the kinds of queries that it is bad at? So the things are the types of queries that it cannot um, um, leverage the power of indexes. Those sort of queries will obviously be slower. So if I do not have an index for a particular particular table, that is going to be slow. But that also means another thing. Any join operation that is against a derived relation. So select blah, blah, blah from this table T1, comma, another select nested query, right? Something that generates a derived relation. And then we need to perform a join operation on that. Those are your derived relations, right? So if it is a derived relation, there is no index for that derived relation, right? So so if there is no derived relation for those, there is no index for those derived relations, MySQL takes a long time to actually join those tables or perform that join operation. That is obviously the case because MySQL isn't smart enough to actually. So what we can do in such situations is get the derived relation, store it in some temporary table, build an index on top of that temporary table, and then join it using that index. But MySQL isn't smart enough to do that on its own. It has to be specifically stated and performed in a sense. There are two other join algorithms that we will talk about. The first one is something called a sort merge join. The other one would be a hash join, right? Hash table join. So these two are extremely powerful algorithms that are not like nested loop joins, right? And these basically make the life of the planner much easier because these are incredibly fast. But these join algorithms are not available in MySQL. Sort merge and hash join are not available in MySQL. They are available in Postgres. They are available in, I believe, Microsoft, but Azure, but I don't know if it is, but definitely in Postgres, obviously, and Oracle, obviously. So we can't add those to MySQL easily because, as I said, we have to change the internal mechanism of MySQL to actually add them to MySQL. So that means that those sort of merge or join operations are not in the tool set for MySQL. So keep that in mind. So a sort merge join is pretty simple. I mean, you guys should find it quite easy. So assuming that your tables are already ordered by join attributes, uh, because first we have to sort them. And then what we can do is we can have two pointers, PR and PS, that are pointing towards the relations R and S. And we can then say that if those attributes are already sorted, if PR and PS is pointing to two values, then basically we can perform your normal merge operation, right? So if PR is smaller than PS, increase PR. If PR is still smaller, increase PR. If PS is smaller than PR, then increase PS. If PS is smaller, increase PS, right? So we keep on incrementing the pointer until we reach a point where the attribute values are the same. Both PR and PS point to an attribute value that are the same, then we perform a join. So essentially it requires an N, big O N operation to actually join those two things together, right? So it is a very powerful algorithm that allows us to perform join operations really quickly. And I'm not going to get into the details of this because we really, this should be actually talked about in some more advanced database classes, but you guys can read up on this. But essentially, just the general takeaway from this would be that it has a much better performance compared to your traditional nested loop join that MySQL has, or for that matter, MariaDB, right? The other type of join that we have, that is the most powerful of them all, is again applicable to equijoins. So what this is a hash join that partitions your table into different blocks with respect to some hash function. So for two tables R and S, it partitions the table into HRIs and HSIs. So HR1, HR2, HR3, and so on, HS1, HS2, HS3, and so on, right? So it divides the table by hashing them and partitioning them into different blocks. Now, the thing that you can observe from this is, since if we are using a hash function that is similar to both, then if we are searching for a particular attribute in a block, so for example, let's say that for a particular, we are searching for a particular attribute from HR1. We are guaranteed that since we are using the similar hash function, that particular attribute can either be in HS1, or if it is not, it is nowhere else. Right, because it is using the same hash function, HR1 can only map to HS1 and nothing else. We don't even need to check for HS2, HS3, HSN. We don't need to check for those. So by cleverly hashing the data and partitioning the data into those sort of blocks, it is able to reduce the search space and comparison space, which makes it a much more powerful algorithm, right? So what it does is essentially for all values 1 to n, it builds a hash index for those things. HSI, it builds up, so for given that particular hash index for each row in HRI, it matches the particular hash index in HSI. And then for each matching table, it can just add that to the result, right? For each HRI and HSI block, which are very small blocks from a large enough table. This is very interesting because this is also very good at joining against derived relations, something that MySQL could not do. For MySQL, remember, whenever we had derived relations, there was no index, right? And since there was no index, MySQL was not able to leverage that index thing, and that derived relation had to be joined using that nested loop. But here, since it is explicitly creating a hash index on those tables, even for derived relations, it is still doing those hash functions, then it actually is creating indexes for you within this loop, right? So even if you have a derived relation, it is still able to leverage indexes on those temporarily created derived relations as well. And that makes it really fast. Okay. Any questions so far? Yes, so MySQL does not have a sort merge join or a hash join. Now, so we talked about natural joins. So before we move to full outer joins, let's first talk about a general idea about, let's take left outer joins, right? So we have, let's say we have to perform a left outer join using what MySQL has, like loops, right? So imagine that you have two tables that you have to perform a left outer join using the programming language of your choice. Forget about databases, using the programming language of your choice, Python, C++, what have you. You have two tables that you need to perform a left outer join. That means that all attributes in the left table stay, and for all of those attributes that do not have a corresponding attribute value in the rightmost table, those are null padded, right? So we can do that. We can just say that for each attribute in the left table, go over the rightmost table. If there is a corresponding attribute, join it together. Move on to the next one. Scan, look at the next attribute that we have, scan the rightmost table again. Now, if it does not have a corresponding attribute, add a null value. Move on. If it has, add it to the table. If not, add a null value, and so on, right? The same thing can be said for right outer joins, right? Instead of basically the other way around. We scan for one right outer value, for right attribute value, we scan the entire left table. And then if it is not there, we append a null value. Otherwise, we keep on appending the results. Now, full outer join means that it has to be there for both table 1 and table 2. Right, the attribute has to be present, the joining attribute has to be present for both table 1 and table 2. And that is really annoying because coding that in an efficient way becomes really tricky. There are algorithms that make it quite easier. So for example, a sort merge join can actually compute a full outer join quite easily because it is basically merging and incrementing those pointers one by one. So even if both of those are not equal, it can just increment out, right? So a sort merge join can easily perform a full outer join. Given some trickery, we can also do that for hash joins. Hash joins can also perform full outer joins easily. But a nested loop performing those full outer joins is very difficult. And MySQL does not support sort merge joins or hash joins. And that is essentially the reason why MySQL cannot perform a full outer join. Essentially, the suspense is gone, the mystery is gone. Essentially, that is the main reason that why MySQL can't do it, and it has to do it. It has to change its internal machinery to allow hashing and to allow sort merge techniques in its tool set so that it is able to do a full outer join. Otherwise, it is not able to. Right? Okay. So there are other operations as well. We already talked about this. Sorting can be done before grouping attributes that make my life easier, make the database's life easier. And so we can then basically see that in order to improve the performance of a query, we can use the explain command and perform analysis on that particular query to see whether it is using indexes or not. If not, we can create indexes wherever appropriate for those queries that are using a particular attribute again and again and again, right? So that is how we essentially optimize the query performance. We need to understand the mechanism that goes behind the database. What are the database capabilities? If the database is lacking in certain things, what do we need to add on top of it to make sure that it works? So let's look at this particular example and then we'll just wrap up. So this is a very, as I was saying, I think I froze for a second, but let's look at this particular query and then we will wrap up. So essentially for this query essentially is for your grades table, right? Grades database. And you can actually run this query on that database as well. So it essentially does, for each assignment, it finds the average size of the last submission from the students. So you can basically imagine that I would like to know the amount of code, average amount of code that a student has to write for a particular assignment, right? Is it a long enough average? Is it a long enough code on average? Is it a shorter code on average? Maybe I want to know that sort of thing from my database, and you can actually run this query as well. So here we can run this particularly icky query that is really gross, but essentially we can run this query to actually get that data, right? So select your file name, average last submission from the assignment, natural join with submission, and natural join with sub ID, where we get the total size as well, and join it with essentially the date it was submitted, so that by doing a max date for the sub ID, we can actually get the latest submission from that student, right? We don't want all possible submissions. We just want the latest submission. So we get the latest submission date and then join that with the size of that submission. Once we have the size and the assignment name and the sub ID, we can then essentially join that with the assignment itself and the submission itself to get the name of the assignment and perform an aggregate operation on the average table, right? So essentially this is what this query does. And you can see that this is really icky, right? It has this inner query, it has this another inner query and so on. So what it does is essentially, if we just look at it, it has this from statement that performs a natural join on the assignment, performs a natural join with the submission, and performs the natural join with this nested table as well.